Yo, Bachi 2007 back at you with another one. So a while back, I did a video about this woman getting laid off, and that video is let's get that on screen. So it's this one right here. Strong, independent woman gets laid off and makes this kind of decision, where she talked about a bunch of crazy nonsense about how she was getting laid off and she was going on vacation to Europe and she was crying or halfway to crying and all teared up like her financial life was somehow in a tiff and it was a big problem of some kind. Yet she could go to Europe for 2 weeks for a vacation while she's fired. And I kind of talked about how all she had to say was about how she didn't what was she going to do next, and she wasn't really looking to do anything as far as like I did when I was laid off, which was start my LLC and find out different types of work I could do and patch together some jobs. As far as freelance gigs and putting together some self-employment opportunities, and also got certification in my field to make myself more employable or have more opportunities as far as gaining clientele. And where all she was doing was planning a European vacation as her response to her layoff while being teary eyed about her prospects. And she wasn't doing anything to improve her prospects. But let's take a listen to see what she ended up doing there.
But first of all, that one video where I talked about my layoff, that video unexpectedly is at 112,000 views. It got on my friend's algorithm, my ex-coworker's algorithm, a lot of the people in my life that didn't know that I had a YouTube channel.
Speaking of pushing a YouTube video through the algorithm, if you're watching this video, could you please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for me? Go on ahead, like me up, subscribe. That'll really help me with making sure YouTube knows what you all like, and so that this will get out to more folks. I really appreciate it. Back to the video.
Finally found out, so here I am, just a little bit awkward and shy to say hi to all of my real life acquaintances. Anyway, so getting back to the topic of discussion today, immediately after the layoff, I actually did go to Europe by myself for a couple of weeks. Specifically, I stayed in Budapest, Prague, a couple cities in Austria, and I stopped by Paris real quick as well. And she just stopped by Paris real quick. She just lives a lavish, elegant life, backpacking through Europe, staying in a couple of different cities in one country, just fancy, foot free and what's called foot free and fancy, foot loose and fancy free. There we go. I can't even get it out of my mouth. But she was making it as if it was such a harsh circumstance for her to be laid off. And what would she do in life? Let's see the privilege of this woman and what her life really is, which we're going to really see it's a life of ease. Let's listen. I know a lot of people mention that it's going to be a bad financial decision in times where, I have zero or even negative income stability.
That's a lie. You don't have zero negative income. Let's hear where her income comes from that she still has while laid off.
But honestly, it was really the only time that I had for myself, to myself, and without my husband, without my friends.
Hell, without her husband, she that she was married and that there's a whole other income to pay the bills and to allow her to go backpacking through Europe with no income. She is not in any type of financial straits. Why? Because she has a man to take care of her, even when she is not able to take care of herself. She has no stress, no problems. Her ego was wounded by the layoff. That's why she was all teary-eyed in the last review. That was just about ego. She doesn't have any financial worries. She's not even looking for a job now, as we're getting ready to hear. It's no problem. She has a whole nother person who makes enough income to take care of all of their bills and expenses in life. And this is what it really should be for women. But she wants to still act like she's the boss chick whose income really mattered towards survival, which it did not. But she actually has done the right thing in life, which was to get with a man and be able to have someone to be there to backstop her and take care for her and not just rely on thinking that she could go out here in the world, live independently, and everything is going to be okay and have to carry all the weight of life and all of the worry of taking care of these financial issues. When I got laid off, it's just me. I'm the one that's responsible for making sure it happens. She was in a position where that wasn't her situation, as it should be. So she wants to front the boss chick aesthetic of, oh, yes, I must be working and have a great career. But in actual fact, she doesn't need it. She could go to Europe for 2 weeks with no income because she has her husband's income. The other thing is, why is she going on 2 week trips without her husband and why is he allowing that? She's doing this by herself, and what am I going to do? She didn't even mention her husband in that whole, I don't know how long that video was, probably 15 to 20-minute video. Didn't mention him. He was irrelevant. Uh, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it? You're going to rely on your husband's income. That's how you're going to make it. What were you talking about that whole time? It was a whole facade, but you can see she lives uh independent boss chick life within a marriage. Unfortunately, this man is allowing that. He's taking all the responsibility to take care for her, which he can't do for herself, but he's not establishing uh his correct position in the marriage, and he's allowing her to act like she's a single woman and live independently and take 2 week foreign vacations while he's back here humping it to make the money for her to be on that 2 week vacation. Crazy. If that's what that is, let's listen some more.
And plug my AirPods in my ears and eat by myself, find friends in the area, try things that I've always been scared of trying before, like skydiving. You know, it's forever going to be one of the biggest highlights of my life. I'm kind of lucky.
Still living her best life while the man is back here humping it for her. But she gives no credit for that. None of them ever do. These are kind of these twisted modern women. She was, I guess, amenable enough to where somebody could bear to marry her. And she obviously apparently wanted to get married in her 20s. I think she said she was about 30 now, 31. So she at least had enough traditionalism in her and not so completely whacked out on the feminist ideologies of just getting ran through until she's old and used and then trying to show up for somebody. But at the same time, she is definitely of this mind state that, hey, the man is here to just provide utility to me while I live my best independent woman life. And she's just going up there, living it up, not a care in the world because she doesn't have to have a care in the world because she has a man to backstop her. Okay, but y'all can do everything for yourself. Y'all don't need no man. All that nonsense. We see what it really is.
In saying that one of my best friends works at an airline company, so actually my flights thankfully were free. And biggest shout out to my friend. The cost of living in those areas that I went to were actually much lower than, you know, if I were to stay back in the United States, you know, sad and lonely and depressed about the.
Why would she be lonely? She has a husband. Again, she lives an independent life while she doesn't have to worry about anything, while her husband does everything and then allows her to just be footloose and fancy free and do as she wants without having to adhere to any structure. She doesn't even acknowledge the man and doesn't even feel like she's with him. She goes and does 4 trips alone, and if she was back home, she'd still be alone with this man paying her way. It's crazy.
The whole layoff situation. Because I was traveling alone, I definitely reflected a lot about my life, my career, my relationships, friendships, you know, what I really wanted to.
Friendships, not her husband. She's worried about her friendships.
pursue longer term. Like, what kind of things that I do like doing, what I don't like doing about my work, how do I gain financial freedom, like what do I want to be doing 10 years, 20 years down the road. And one of the things that I really, really wanted to do for a bit is buy my first home. I know it's a very odd idea when you have zero income coming, but I knew that, you know, that was something that we've been thinking about and working towards for years, and we have had like our investments and savings towards it. And what
I just can't listen to her talk anymore. She wants to gain financial freedom. She has financial freedom. You're free to go backpacking to the other side of the planet and then come back with no job talking about buying a house because you have the freedom and the privilege of all these things because of a man. She talks about she wants to get into real estate. I'm not going to keep playing it. I can't listen to her talk anymore. Uh, and that's fine. That sounds good. Even though she's getting into real estate to buy her house rather than to be a real. I don't know. She makes no sense. She has none, as we can see. But what we can see here is a woman who just floats through life knowing that she's covered and doesn't, again, seem to have much interest, care, and certainly doesn't give any credit to her husband. She's living her independent life inside of her marriage, but making all her decisions based on her ability to spend his money, not have to worry about working or not. She can work if she wants to. No, no big deal if she doesn't. Uh, I bet you she'll divorce him in 5 or 6 years, and she'll think she deserves half or better of everything. Even though she may have worked through a good part of the marriage, I'll bet you throughout the course of that marriage, he will have earned the majority of the money, he would have been the financial heavy, just as he's carrying her right now. But she'll think she deserves half or more, and won't have any appreciation for how he's allowing her to live free and do whatever she wants. When he's old news, when it's old and tired being with him, when she thinks the grass is greener on the other side and she needs her refresher titillation of a new man and new exciting opportunities with new men to come and bow before her and whisk her off her feet and all these sorts of things, she'll want to go get somebody else, and she will. And she'll have no remembrance or appreciation for what this man is doing for her in the life he's allowing her to live. That will count for nothing. He will not have been emotionally intelligent enough. He's not doing it for her anymore. He's not making her happy, and it won't matter anymore. Y'all really got to be aware of women like this. She presents as feminine because she's soft look, soft voice tone, all that kind of stuff. But that's just an act. She is a self-centered, self-absorbed feminist, and we can see it all here. We hear it all from her. It's just crazy. Watch your 2007. I'm out on this one. Catch y'all on the next one. Like, subscribe, notification bell. I'm out.